Okay, everybody. Hi, welcome back. So I gave you earlier a little video on multiplying of polynomials. And so now we want to kind of look at that lesson on multiplying polynomials. Not going to do all of them, but just want to go over a few of them just to make sure you guys are good. And if you have questions, you know what to do. Let me know and we'll go over it. So here's where we are. This is, by the way, out of the Kaplan book, Algebra Basics, Expressions and Polynomials in Lesson 11. Here we go. So I picked a few of them out of all 27. I picked a few to go over. Now look, we're going over how to do these, but remember, GED is more word problem based. So you want to make sure that even after you've completed the problems, that you've gone back and done the word problems. And if you need some more word problem practice, please let me know, so we can find some more, or I can find some and make sure that you have some up and running. But in the meantime, here we go. So we're going to start with number 1. And number 1 said 6x times 5x. So remember, we are multiplying, and we know it's multiplication because when we look between the parentheses, there is no sign between the parentheses. So we know this is straight multiplying. So we're going to take the numbers and multiply them together. So 5 and 6, if we multiply that, it gives us 30. And then we multiply the two variables together, x and x. Now remember the rule. All we're doing is saying how many x's we have total. So that was 1x here, 1x here. So that gives us x squared. Notice we make it an exponent. It doesn't come down here because that's where the coefficient is, or the two numbers that we multiply. So this is our final answer right here, 30x squared. All right, we good on that? Everything made sense? Okay. Then I did number 2. So 2 says 2xy times 3y. Again, it's multiplication, nothing in between there. So that's definitely multiplication. So I'm going to multiply the number and the number. So that's 2 and 3. If I multiply it, I get 6. Then I'm going to the letters. We'll notice there's only one x in the problem. There's not another x over on this side, or in this parentheses. So that just brings the x down. So I got x so far. Sorry about that. But I notice there's a y here and there's a y here. So again, one y here, one y here. So that gives me 6y squared. So there's my final answer. 6xy squared. Makes sense? All right. Hope so. Good. Then we're going to drop down to number 9, where it's a little more going on. So we notice that one term is outside of parentheses, and then we have terms inside of the parentheses. So that means we got to take this 3z squared to everything inside of the parentheses. It wasn't just 2 things like we had here. We have more involved in the problem. It's still multiplication though, because we notice between the first term and the parentheses, there is no addition sign or anything here. So there's still a multiplication problem. So first we're going to multiply. Number 3 times the 6, and 3 times 6, of course, gives us 18. Then we're going to go z squared. And yes, this squared goes with the z, not with the 3. Don't try to put it with the 3. It goes separately. So z squared, but there's no z squared here. So we're just going to bring z squared down. We also notice that with this first term here and this first term here, there's an x and a y. So we got to bring that x and that y down as well. Okay? Couldn't make anything can be squared or anything like that, because the z squared is just that, 1z squared. That y is just 1y there, 1x there. So we couldn't make anything extra happen there. So we've taken this whole term to this whole 6xy and then gotten this. We're bringing down this addition sign because this is positive and that is also positive. So I can say, okay, plus. Now I'm going to take the same first term, all of this, 3z squared, multiplied by 4z. Well, of course, the 3 and the 4 got to be multiplied first. That gives me 12. Now, when we do z, that's z squared and another z. So that gives me z to the third. Okay? Because it was already 2 of them. And I had one more. So that's why it's 3 and not anything else you want to try to give me. That's what it has to be. So then there's our answer to that one. Okay. And remember, back this video up, pause it, all that other good stuff. If something is thrown off, you need to look at it more. Okay. All right. Number 11. I got this one. I chose this because it has the negative sign in it. And a lot of times, you know what happens, you guys, in these signs, We want to make sure we're paying attention to the signs when we are multiplying things, because we still want our answers to be correct. And we are talking math. So there's not any, it can't be any other answer. It has to be the right answer. So look, -5 times 3. We're taking, again, this whole term that's outside the parentheses. That's -5ab. And we're multiplying by 3b. So -5 and a +3 should give us -15. And then we have an A next, but there's no A here. So we're just going to bring that A down. And then we have a B, one B here, and we have a B here in the terms that we're multiplying. So that gives us B squared. Again, because there were two B's, so that's B squared. We have the signs. Now here, unlike the other problem where we just drop that addition sign down, look, we have a negative out here. That's a positive right there. When we do a negative and a positive, the sign that wins, of course, will be the negative sign. So you can't do plus minus. No, we're not doing that. One sign. No standardized test writes double sign. So don't get into the practice of that. All right. So now we're doing -5 and that 11. So that gave us that -55, and we already had the negative sign right there, or a subtraction sign, whichever way makes you guys feel the most comfortable, as long as you know it should only be one sign. All right, A, when I'm looking over here, there is no A, so I'm going to bring the A down. There's a B here, but when I'm looking over here, no B, so I'm going to bring that down. But it already had a C here, so I'm going to also bring that down. So then there's my final answer. Okay? Again, slow it down if you have to. Talk to me if you need to. We got this going. All right. Next one. All of this is multiplication. There's just different forms to it. You know, starting basic, getting a little more complicated, and then getting even more complicated when you're talking about multiplying. But you guys can still do this. So what we noticed this time is that we got two terms in each set of parentheses. So two terms. So all that means is that it's kind of like saying, okay, I'm going to take this term out and just say x times x minus 6. Then I'm going to come back and grab the next term and say, oh, okay, it's +5 times x minus 6. So you're just basically doing each term to every single solitary thing that's in the opposite parentheses, or every other term in the opposite parentheses. So I'm going to start with this x. And just to be honest, so you guys know which term I'm doing first, I'm going to box it up so you know that that's the term I'm multiplying first. So I'm going to take this x and I'm going to this parentheses to multiply. Multiply. Okay, so x times x is where I went first. So x times